Greetings, my friend.
Oh, hi there. My name is Prostetnic Vogon Jeffs, and in this video we're heading out to the Old West to talk about one of the greatest Western movies of all time.
Go ahead.
Nope, not that one.
I'm your huckleberry.
No, that's a great one, but no.
I take my life in my hands every time I walk out to my outhouse.
Okay, that better be a joke.
Sorry, my bad. I'm not actually sorry. I did that on purpose.
Soon you can cut the bread in slices as big as a door if you want to.
We're going to get rich, Pop.
This video is all about the 1968 Sergio Leone spaghetti western, Once Upon a Time in the West. I'm honestly kind of shocked that modern-day lunatics haven't gotten a hold of that term yet.
That surprise you?
Spaghetti western was coined by a Spanish journalist back in the 60s and basically just refers to Italian westerns. Which is crazy when you think about it. Personally, I love the term, it's got a real ring to it. But imagine if we had this kind of a term for other movie genres from other countries, like taco dramas or kung pao comedies.
Oh, help and bother.
That's more better.
Or butter chicken horror.
This is ridiculous.
Man, we have to start doing this. Let's bring some cultural stereotyping back to the movie biz.
Oh, Christ.
Where are my bibimbap musicals? Alright, fine. I know these don't really work on the same level because westerns are one of the few location-specific genres. I get it. Cut me some slack. I'm just trying to have some fun here. Why are you so opposed to having a little bit of fun? I mean, geez, take the cork out of your ass already. Let it rip.
Oh man, he's crashing out. What? No, of course not.
Once Upon a Time in the West stars Charles Bronson, Claudia Cardinal, Henry Fonda, Jason Robards, and Gabrielle Ferzetti. It's the first film of Sergio Leone's second trilogy, the Once Upon a Time trilogy. The first being the Dollars trilogy, consisting of A Fistful of Dollars, For a Few Dollars More, and The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. It was really a trilogy for marketing purposes only. The idea was that there were these three spaghetti westerns directed by Leone featuring Clint Eastwood as the quote-unquote man with no name. The only problem? Guy had a name in each movie. I don't know where this man with no name bullshit came from. Joe, Monco, Blondie. 3 movies, 3 names. What the hell are we doing here? Oh, relax, I get it. Those were nicknames, blah, blah, blah. Point being is that it's basically just 3 westerns directed by Leone and featuring Eastwood. The Once Upon a Time trilogy is even less of a trilogy. It's a thematic trilogy. No! Okay? I mean, sure, whatever. It consists of Once Upon a Time in the West, Duck, You Sucker, and Once Upon a Time in America. And regardless of their merits as trilogies, all 6 movies are well worth watching. I don't know. I couldn't think of a good segue from this section to the synopsis. Okay, yeah, go for it.
Here we go!
Jeez, dude, come on. Alright, Once upon a time in the West, there was a train station. 3 men wearing light brown duster jackets entered the building in a menacing fashion. After locking the station agent in the shitter and scaring off a native woman, they proceeded to wait. And wait. And wait some more. What were they waiting for, you ask? Probably a train, dummy. It is a train station of— okay, you know what? I'm sorry. That was rude of me. I suppose it's possible they could have been waiting for something else, but no, they were waiting for a train, obviously. Come on, guys. As the train approached, the 3 men prepared themselves for a confrontation. Guns at the ready, they kept their eyes peeled, waiting for someone to step out from one of the passenger cars. But no one did. No one was traveling to Cattle Corner. And so the 3 imposing gunslingers turned to leave and— wait a minute, oh shit, it's Charles Bronson! Taunting the 3 men by playing his harmonica, Bronson asks about Frank, the man he was expecting to meet at the station, before dropping the best Bronson kill line of all time.
Did you bring a horse for me?
Looks like we're shy of 1 horse.
You brought two too many.
He takes down all three men. Unfortunately, he's not fast enough to dodge Woody Strode's bullet and takes a hunk of lead in the shoulder. But fear not, for it'll be a plot device in an upcoming scene and then forgotten about entirely. God damn, Bronson is one tough son of a bitch. On a remote patch of land outside of Flagstone, Brett McBain hunts birds with his youngest son before heading back to his ranch. His daughter is busy preparing food for a party, and Jesus Christ, girl, you're gonna cut them off if you keep doing it like that.
Damn it, Patrick!
Brett scolds his eldest son for being late to pick up their mother from the train station, and his kid is all like,
Our mother died 6 years ago.
So Brett does the only thing one can do with mouthy ginger offspring. Damn it, Patrick, go pick up your new mother from the train station. Out of nowhere, Brett's family is shot dead one by one. First his daughter, Maureen. Then he and Patrick are taken down. Only Timmy is left standing to see a group of men emerge from the bushes. They're wearing those same light brown dusters as the men from the train station. And approaching the young boy, one of the men asks,
What are we gonna do with this one, Frank?
Now that you've called me by name.
So Frank is forced to shoot Timmy. Way to go, you dumb bearded fuck. Arriving at the train station in Flagstone City, Jill, Brett McBain's new wife, widow, waits for her escort to Sweetwater Ranch. After a few minutes, she says screw it and hires a carriage to take her there. Along the way, her driver, Sam, makes a pit stop at the trading post where they have a run-in with Cheyenne, a wanted criminal who has just escaped from his captors. Sitting in the shadows, Bronson plays his harmonica. You know what, I guess we'll just call him Harmonica. He and Cheyenne have a tense exchange when he notices the wanted criminal's crew wearing those light brown dusters.
I saw 3 of these dusters a short time ago. They were waiting for a train. Inside the dusters, there were 3 men.
So?
Inside the men, there were 3 bullets.
Jill continues on and eventually makes her way to Sweetwater Ranch, where she finds her dead husband and his 3 dead offspring. Welcome home, Ma! As her husband and stepchildren are buried, the law shows up with a newly discovered scrap of light brown duster. It seems like Cheyenne's gang was responsible for the Sweetwater slaughter. In the middle of the night, Harmonica interrogates Wobbles, the guy who was supposed to set up a meeting between the harmonica-playing gunslinger and Frank.
You know, Wobbles, I'm kind of mad at you.
Harmonica has figured out that instead of showing up at the train station, Frank was busy gunning down the McBains and framing Cheyenne's gang. And back at the Sweetwater Ranch, Jill searches the house for money and inadvertently stumbles upon a series of model buildings, including a miniature train station. Unable to find anything of value or any clue as to her late husband's source of wealth, she heads out the front door, only to be greeted by Cheyenne. He's curious. He wants to know why he was set up and figures it was for money. Jill tells him off. She didn't find any money, and she's not afraid of him or what he and his gang might do to her.
I'm here alone in the hands of a bandit who smelled money. If you want to, you can lay me over the table and amuse yourself. Well, no woman ever died from that. When you're finished, all I'll need will be a tub of boiling water, and I'll be exactly what I was before. With just another filthy memory.
Meanwhile, Mr. Morton, a railway tycoon with bone tuberculosis who has been building his way across the country, chastises Frank for killing the McBains. He was only supposed to scare them into selling their land.
People scare better when they're dying.
Okay, I don't know if that's true. Sure, it sounds cool to say, but I kind of doubt the validity of the statement. Whatever. There's a power struggle between Frank and Morton. Frank sees opportunity and a chance to rise above his lot in life, but Morton is quick to put his hired gun in his place.
You'll never succeed in becoming like me.
Why?
Because there are many things you'll never understand. This is one of them. There are many kinds of weapons.
Back at Sweetwater, Jill and Cheyenne shoot the shit over a cup of coffee. Cheyenne is convinced that Brett left money somewhere, and Jill tells him straight up that he can have it if he can find it. She's heading back to civilization and plans on putting all of this behind her. On his way out, Cheyenne gives Jill one hell of a compliment.
You know, Jill, you remind me of my mother. She was the biggest whore in Alameda and the finest woman that ever lived.
Damn, dude, what the fuck? Oh, wait, no. He's spot on. Jill actually is a whore. She's a lap jockey, a projectile polisher, a junk juggler. You get the idea. Brett McBain fell in love with a whore and married her, and Cheyenne spotted it a mile away. He takes off with his gang, and the widow McBain once again prepares to leave the ranch, only to be surprised by Harmonica hiding out in the barn. He forcibly tailors her dress for ranch readiness, shoots up a couple of Frank's men who have returned to intimidate her, and heads out to spy on the ruthless killer from atop Morton's train. But Frank isn't stupid and catches Harmonica in the act. Inside the train, Harmonica taunts his captor by naming several men who Frank has killed.
Dave Jenkins.
Dave Jenkins dead long time ago.
Calder Benson.
What's your name? Benson's dead too.
Frank heads out to deal with Jill, and Morton's train takes off down the line. To Harmonica's surprise, Cheyenne has followed him. He infiltrates the train, shooting a number of Frank's men and rescuing Harmonica. In Flagstone, Jill is surprised by an inordinate shipment of lumber and building materials that had been pre-ordered by Brett. She realizes that her deceased husband was intending on building a train station. Returning to the ranch, Jill is met by Frank, who abducts her and takes her to his secret hideout for grapes. She's a survivor, so she lets him have his way and also agrees to sell her land at auction. But the auction is fixed. Frank's men prevent anyone else from bidding on the land. Thankfully, Harmonica shows up to save the day. Cheyenne is handed over for a $5,000 reward, which is then used to purchase the property. And while all of this is going down, Morton is making a deal with Frank's men to gain their allegiance. Later, Frank confronts Harmonica about the deal and tries to buy the land for
$5,000 plus 1.
The deal is rejected, and Frank walks out into an ambush by his own gang. He gets a helping hand from Harmonica.
You saved his life.
I didn't let them kill him, and that's not the same thing.
Hey, if anyone is gonna kill him, it's gonna be Harmonica. After escaping the ambush in Flagstone, Frank returns to Morton's train to find the bloody aftermath of a shootout. Cheyenne's gang helped the outlaw escape custody, and they got the drop on the railroad tycoon and Frank's remaining men. Eventually, everyone makes their way back to Sweetwater for a final showdown. Cheyenne visits with Jill as Frank and Harmonica ready themselves for a shootout. All of this while men work tirelessly on the new Sweetwater station, and rail workers build ever closer. Frank and Harmonica stare each other down, and the nameless man remembers what brought him to this moment.
Keep your loving brother happy.
You see, many years ago, Frank and his gang killed Harmonica's brother, and they tortured the young boy by making him stand beneath his hanging brother for support. As a final insult, Frank shoved a harmonica in his mouth. Eventually, he could no longer stand, and his brother died. Both men draw their guns, and Frank is shot through the chest. He collapses, and in his final moments asks Harmonica,
"Who are you?"
The nameless gunslinger removes the harmonica from his neck, kneels down, and sticks it in Frank's mouth. Cheyenne and Jill are happy to see Harmonica victorious, but it's a bittersweet moment. She's grown fond of him, and of Cheyenne, but neither can stay.
I hope you'll come back someday.
Someday.
Harmonica has got shit to figure out, and Cheyenne is dying. He was shot during his escape and subsequent attack on Morton's train. After passing away, Harmonica puts Cheyenne's body on his horse and rides off to God knows where. And Jill serves water to the railroad workers. The end. I want to do something a little different here. I'll give you guys the Vogon take in a moment, but I want to highlight a couple elements from this movie that I think are noteworthy. The first is how Leone handles the introduction of characters. This movie is an absolute masterclass in the slow burn of character development. The first 15 minutes of the film are devoted to 4 characters: Frank's 3 goons and Harmonica. The first 2/3 of this scene are all about establishing the intentions of the goons through visuals alone. The way they treat the station agent, the way they exist within the setting of the station itself. By the time Harmonica shows up, we know that they aren't there for a friendly encounter. And we know Harmonica is looking for Frank. But who is Frank? Cut to the McBains. Using a minimal amount of pointed dialogue, we learn that they are preparing for the arrival of a woman, Brett's new wife. We don't know her name, but we know what she is going to be wearing when she arrives by train. And then the family is slaughtered out of nowhere, and as the gunmen emerge from cover, it is a thoughtless question that reveals the identity and character of Frank. He's so ruthless that even an innocent child isn't safe if he feels it will jeopardize his goals. And now that we know this is the man Harmonica is looking for, we cut to Flagstone Station. Jill emerges from the train wearing exactly what Brett described to his eldest son. Without any clunky exposition, we know know who this woman is and why she's here. And because of how the previous scene played out, there is a dramatic irony to her arrival. We know that her escort isn't going to show up. She hires Sam, who takes her to the trading post where we meet Cheyenne, and like the three characters before him, he is introduced and defined primarily through visuals. After a short audio narrative of a scuffle outside of the trading post, we get a tense scene that reveals he is a criminal, but not a psychopath like Frank. He takes what he wants, but also has a moral compass of sorts. 4 scenes, 4 characters. This encompasses the better part of the first act, and it's slow and methodical, but it shows the audience exactly who we're dealing with. It gives us enough character development to get us hooked. We want to know more about each of these characters. We want to know why Harmonica is looking for Frank. We want to know why Frank killed the McBains. We want to know what Jill is going to do in the wake of the slaughter. And we want to know why Cheyenne is being set up. It's a sequence of events that modern filmmakers should be required to study. The second element I want to address is the subtext of dialogue. The movie is packed with a bunch of great examples, but I'm going to use one from the end of the film to make my point. Jill is a former prostitute. She's traveled west to marry into money. But there's more to it than that. That's the initial motivation, but it's clear that she is looking for something else. Harmonica and Cheyenne can both see it. They see a goodness and a strength in her before she can even recognize it in herself.
This isn't the time to leave.
And this all comes to a head at the end of the movie. As Harmonica and Frank are preparing to duel, Cheyenne and Jill await the victor inside of her house. Cheyenne watches the workers building Sweetwater Station and the approaching rail line.
You know what? If I was you, I'd go down there and give those boys a drink.
He makes a comment about how good it would make them feel, and then remarks that if someone should give her a slap on the ass,
just make believe it's nothing.
A short while later, after encouraging Jill not to throw her heart towards him or Harmonica, and as he's heading out to die, Cheyenne pats Jill on the butt and repeats himself.
Make believe it's nothing.
I love this scene for 2 reasons. One, it shows that Cheyenne is a crude man, a product of his time. But he's also wise and compassionate. He's not telling Jill to accept being manhandled. He's not telling her to be passive or submissive or anything like that. He's telling her exactly the opposite. He doesn't want her settling for criminals like himself or for broken men like Harmonica.
You're sort of a handsome man.
But I'm not the right man. And neither is he.
Cheyenne knows Jill is strong, and he's trying to give her advice on how to embrace that strength. He sees her as someone who can help build Sweetwater and influence its direction. When he says make believe it's nothing, he's acknowledging that it's not nothing. He knows it's wrong, but in order to find her strength, Jill needs to pretend she's not bothered by it, to be above it. Now, I don't care whether or not you agree with the advice, that's not the point. The point is that this movie is packed with moments like this, moments of poetic subtext that create depth.
Why don't you shut up?
You shut up!
Once Upon a Time in the West is a stunning film. The cinematography is breathtaking. Excellent shot composition that elevates already impressive scene locations and set design, accompanied by a beautiful score by Ennio Morricone, probably one of his best, and subdued yet powerful performances by Fonda, Cardinal, Bronson, and Robards. Some folks might find the pacing a bit slow, but I think it adds to the tone and tension of the story. Likewise, I could see some people getting thrown off by the ADR, but it's important to remember that this is more or less an Italian film. It's a dubbed movie, and for the most part, it's dubbed quite well. But those are just a couple tiny nitpicks in an otherwise brilliant movie. Leone takes his time unraveling the characters and plot in an extremely satisfying way, providing catharsis for the viewer by the time the credits roll. Characters aren't one-dimensional. There's a richness to them that is often missing from movies in this genre, or movies in general for that matter. The entire experience is rewarding. If you've seen it before, watch it again. If you have yet to check it out, what the hell is wrong with you? Get on it!
Let's get moving.
You won't regret it, because Once Upon a Time in the West is a masterpiece.
What?